Hello. In this video, we're going to talk about the if statements. So what are if statements? If statements are conditional statements that will evaluate a code or not depending on the status of the condition. The status of the condition means whether the condition evaluates to be true or false. An if statement will evaluate a condition to be true or false. If it is true, the block of code under the if statement will be evaluated. So in here, right, if the condition, there's a if clause followed by the condition followed by a colon, then the if statement body is indented one level, and the code will be executed if the condition is true. Otherwise, if it is false, this block of code will not be evaluated. So we have an example here. Variable a equals 6. If variable a is equals to 23, we'll print true. Otherwise, we'll print false. Then we'll print the end of the file. Here we have an else statement. Else statement is when the condition here proves to be false, then the else branch of the if statement will be evaluated and run. So there are a list of conditions here. We have the a equals to b, a less than b, a greater than b, a less than or equals to b, a greater or equals to b, a not equals to b, not and all, which I'll get to later, and the in keyword. Membership test. So let's run through a few examples. Variable a I set to 6. If 6 is equals to 23, print true, otherwise we'll print false. So from here, right, for this if statement, this condition will prove to be false. So the else branch of the if statement will be evaluated and run. So the answer should be false. Greater than 23. If 6 is greater than 23, it should be false also. It's false. Greater than or equals to 23 is false. Less than 23, this should be true. Less than or equals to 23, it should be true. Not equals to 23, it should be true also. I have it true. So the else part of the code is optional. We can remove it. And say if I go print 6 equals to 23, it should just print end of file. Then what are the not and all keyword? The not function will basically invert a true to a false to a true. So in this case, this condition evaluates to be false. But if I use a not keyword, it will turn the false into a true value. So here the result should be true. And if I use a false value, it should change to a false. The statement should not be run. You print end of file. And we can use a logical operator like and all to join up So basically, the condition is now broken up into two smaller conditions, one on the left and one on the right. So the end basically evaluates when both the conditions here are true. Then the entire condition will be evaluated as true. So here is evaluated as true. 6 is not equals to 23 and 6 is greater than 22. That's false. So if one of the condition is false, the entire condition will be false. So in here, you will just print end of file. But if I set it to less than 22, it should be true. And the or keyword takes either condition can be true or false. Then the entire condition will be evaluated as true. So say if, for example, I put variable a is equals to 23, which is not true, and then variable a is less than 22, which is true. So this condition, this part will evaluate to be false. This part will evaluate to be true. So one false and one true. As long as we have one true condition, the entire condition will evaluate to be true. So here we go. We have true value here. We can also, of course, use the not keyword in one of the smaller condition. So in this case, variable a is equals 63 equals to 23 is not true. Variable a less than 22 is true, but because of the not become false, so both are false. So it will print end of file. There you go, print end of file. What is the in keyword? The in keyword stands for membership in the sequence. So I can put 6. So I can test in a tuple or a list. In here I put as a tuple. If variable a is in the tuple, it will print true. So if 6 is in this tuple, which is here, is in the tuple, it will print true. There you go. So apart from the if, we have an else statement also, which is optional, prints the false. We can also have else if. We also can have else if condition. So if the variable proved to be false, the first condition, if the if branch of the code, if the condition is false, it will move on to the next branch. So here we have several else if is denoted by ELIF. It's the same syntax. We can have multiple else if statement. So the else if works similarly to a if branch of the if statement. They evaluates the condition. If the condition is true, the code will be executed. And the code, like the if statement, in the if branch of the if statement, is separated by is indented, I mean one level in. So here we have else if statement, variable b. Variable b is greater than, if it's greater than equals to 500, we'll print that. But it is not greater than equals to 500, so we will skip this if branch of the statement and move to the next else if branch. If variable b is greater than equals to 400 and less than 500, you'll print 500. But because it's less than 400, you'll skip, you'll prove as false and you move down to the next else if branch. If the else if branch is greater than equals to 300 and less than 400, then we will print. But it is less than 300, so we'll move down to the else branch. So I can execute the code. I forgot to save the file. But if I set it to 300, it will activate this branch of the else if, this of the if statement. The else if branch will be executed. The code in the else if branch will be executed. Variable b equals 300, is between 300 and 400. 450. Now this 450 will be in between. You will be less than 500. So you will skip this branch. You go to the else if branch. This will evaluate to be true because it's greater than equals 400 and it's less than 500. Yeah, so on and so forth. So we can have multiple else if branch. So I added a new branch here. Else if branch between 200 and 300. It will evaluate to be true as change the variable to 250. So 250 is greater than equals to 200 and is less than 300. So this else if branch of the if statement will evaluate to be true and the code body will be run. So there you have it at the bottom here. So there you have it for the if statement. I hope you've learned something from this video. Thank you for watching and please subscribe to the channel to see more videos on Python programming. Thank you. Bye bye.